Kaylee, and today I'm recommending some booktubers who make videos about the Inklings. In June, I will be hosting the June Journeys with Inklings Readathon, and you can download this map to follow your journey as you complete all the prompts. Of course, you don't have to do all of these prompts for the Readathon. The only thing you have to do to participate is just read something from the Inklings or about the Inklings or something Inkling related. But if you wanted to do some of the prompts, you can. With the June Journeys with Inklings Readathon coming up in June, I have been watching a lot of Booktube and finding videos from years ago and more recent videos of some of my favorite Booktubers and my favorite channels that make content about C.S. Lewis and Tolkien and Narnia and Middle-earth and the Space Trilogy. My watch later list just got really huge. So today I'm going to share with you some of my favorite videos that I found on YouTube all about the Inklings. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up if you are really looking forward to the June Journeys with Inklings Readathon. And be sure to follow me over on Goodreads and Instagram and all the places. So there were a couple of documentaries that I found, just kind of, searching and clicking around on YouTube. One of them is from the Real History channel called Beyond Narnia, The Real Life of C.S. Lewis. So if you were looking for a documentary, something to watch, then that would be a good one. There is some kind of Christian ministry called The Incredible Journey where they talk about different Christians kind of from history. And they did a documentary on C.S. Lewis called The Man Behind Narnia. That one's a bit shorter. So if you were just looking for something short and interesting, I thought that one was really good because most of the focus was on C.S. Lewis's faith. Then there are several channels that are completely dedicated to Tolkien or Narnia. So In Deep Geek does a bunch of videos all about Tolkien and Middle-earth. And Nerd of the Rings is completely dedicated to all of these really in-depth explorations of the lore of Middle-earth and the history and everything. And they always have really beautifully made videos. And if you want to know all about Narnia, you have to follow Into the Wardrobe. This is another one where we get all deep into the lore and the legends and the backstory and everything. And another channel that's all about Lord of the Rings is Men of the West. I just love these kind of channels because you get so much in-depth information. Jess of the Shire has a channel where she almost exclusively talks about Tolkien and Middle-earth. She does do some other videos here and there, but so many of her videos are all about Tolkien. And one of my favorite channels is Crystal Hurd's channel, That Lewis Lady. She is an expert on C.S. Lewis. She's actually written a book about Lewis, the leadership of C.S. Lewis. One of my favorite videos that she's put out so far is Aslan Isn't Jesus, all about how Narnia is not actually an allegory. It does have Christian symbolism, but that doesn't make it an allegory. Some of my favorite booktubers, Victoria from That Musical Bookworm and Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space, they did a Lewis Space Trilogy read-along, and they have live discussions for each of the books in the Space Trilogy. That is really interesting. If you've read the Space Trilogy, because there are some spoilers in there, they just go into so much in-depth exploration and analysis about the Space Trilogy. And it's really interesting to hear their discussions, and everybody kind of has a little bit of a different take on things. So those live discussions are well worth the watch. Speaking of Victoria at A Musical Bookworm, she has several really great videos about Lewis and Tolkien. She has an author deep dive on Tolkien, and she actually years and years ago did her own arrangement of the music from the Lord of the Rings movies with the flute. So she is a flautist, and she just did this lovely arrangement. A more recent video is from Talia Nerds Out, and she actually did an Inklings book haul to prepare for the June Journeys with Inklings Readathon. So you definitely have to go over and see her book haul because she was buying books specifically to read for this readathon. Man, she is all in, okay? She is ready to tackle this readathon. It's fantastic. There was also an interview that Ben Shapiro did with a Tolkien expert all about why Tolkien is still relevant today. And it's just, this interview is just so fabulous. I mean, the guy, the expert, is a little bit rambling, but everything he says is just like this golden nugget nugget of wisdom. It's like you're sitting at the feet of this wise old grandfather and he's gonna teach you about Tolkien, you know? It's absolutely fabulous. If you click on anything in the description, make sure you watch that Ben Shapiro interview. There are a couple of videos from Ink and Fantasy about Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings. First, we have Why Tolkien Hated Disney, all about how Tolkien felt that Disney was just watering down fairy tales, and then you lose like all of the meat of the message behind fairy tales. You lose the cosmic struggle between good and evil and stuff. And then there's another video about why Miyazaki hates Lord of the Rings. And again, it was kind of about like these core values that this artist believes are truly important, and they felt like those values were not properly represented in some other storytelling. What's really great is that in this video, Ink and Fantasy kind of addresses why Miyazaki doesn't like Lord of the Rings, and then explores, is he right? Does he have a reason not to like Lord of the Rings? And basically debunks it and says he's just kind of has misunderstood what Lord of the Rings is all about. Naomi's Bookshelf is one of my favorite booktubers, and she does have a video reviewing The Lord of the Rings. I really like her review because she pretty much says a bunch of the same stuff that I love about Lord of the Rings as well. Candlewick Library is another one of my favorite booktubers, and they have a couple of different videos. First, Candlewick Library did the C.S. Lewis tag. So the C.S. Lewis tag was created by book nerd K Tree, but I first saw it because Candlewick Library did this tag. So if you are a booktuber, that might be a tag that you could consider doing for the June Journeys with Inklings Readathon. And she also did a video all about this Inklings reading retreat that she did with her mom. And I was just like, oh my goodness, that is such a good idea. We just need to have a reading retreat. Spinelli Speaks has a couple of different reviews of the whole Space Trilogy and of Mere Christianity, both of which are wonderful. Prose and Petticoats has done a video of why you should read Beowulf if you love Tolkien. So if you know Tolkien, you know he was pretty much obsessed with Beowulf and how Beowulf has completely shaped all of literature. So this is a fantastic video to just kind of showcase how important Beowulf really is. Xenia and the Books did a video about reading The Lord of the Rings for the first time. And the reason that I include it in this video, in this list, is because she has such enthusiasm. Like, it's a vlog and we get to see, you know, how she's kind of discovering things and how she's enjoying it as she reads through it. But it was just like, it got me excited to read Lord of the Rings, seeing how excited she was. Bookborn has done a video asking, is The Lord of the Rings overrated? And the answer is no. They just go through this whole analysis of why Lord of the Rings is absolutely perfect, and all the little intricate pieces and all the complex personalities and all the fabulousness that is Lord of the Rings. Matt on Books has done a video about fantasy before the Lord of the Rings. It's a really interesting look at the history of literature and how that connects to today. Moe's Reads did a similar video like 9 years ago, and they aren't making any videos anymore. But it's worth it to go back 9 years ago and watch their video of pre-Tolkien fantasy. Morgan's Endless Bookshelf has a video ranking all of the Narnia books. I love these ranking videos, you know, because it never matches up with my ranking. I'm always like, how do you like that one better than that one? But people are just, it's so interesting to see how people are looking for different elements, different characters that they really identified with. So I love to see a good ranking video and see how it's different from my own and hear the reasons behind it. Captured in Words likes to do these videos where they try to recommend a book in a very short amount of time. So they have one recommending Narnia in just 3 minutes. So they have to be very concise and say very quickly why you should love Narnia. Rebecca Smith also did a video reading Narnia for the first time, and she was like so anxious that she wasn't going to like Narnia. Like, she kept hearing things about the last battle. She kept hearing that Magician's Nephew wasn't as good as Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and she's saying like, oh no, I'm worried that I'm not gonna like it. And then she would love it, and she'd be like, I don't know what is wrong with those people. I don't know what is all these rumors. I loved it, and I thought it was wonderful. So it was delightful to see her like discovering for herself that she just enjoys it and you don't need to listen to other people's criticisms. Miranda's Universe has a review video of the Chronicles of Narnia. I really love her review because you can see just this deep love that she has for the Chronicles of Narnia. You can see that enthusiasm and just that excitement and joy on her face when she talks about Narnia. The Read Well podcast did an episode about Tolkien versus Plato, and he is comparing the philosophy of Plato to the philosophy of Tolkien. That was very interesting. That kind of blew my mind a little bit. The brothers Gwyn have a video about why you should read the Silmarillion. These guys are hilarious. I just love the kind of back and forth dialogue that they get going. And you can tell that they really love Middle-earth. They really love the Silmarillion. Another one of my favorite booktubers is Sarah's Nightstand, and she has a review of The Lord of the Rings, which is a little bit mixed. There are some things she liked, there are some things she didn't like, and I just really appreciate her honesty in some of the things that she did not care for in The Lord of the Rings. I love everything about Lord of the Rings, so it's kind of weird for me to hear someone saying that they didn't like this and that character or this plot structure or whatever. But I always appreciate just hearing an honest opinion from somebody else and trying to see things from their perspective. Sandy Says Read has a video of a review of Tolkien's Father Christmas letters. The Father Christmas letters are absolutely adorable. I really like this review because Sandy kind of captures this joy and enchantment of childhood. Jackie's Literary Corner has a comparison of the book to the movie of The Hobbit. I actually haven't watched this one yet. I have this on my watch later, and I'm still gonna get to it. But this will be really interesting because so many of us, we love the book of The Hobbit, and then the movies was just, I'm not sure what that was, you know? So I'll be interested to see what Jackie thinks of a comparison from The Hobbit from book to movie. Mitzi Reads and Writes is another one of my favorite booktubers, and she has a video ranking the Narnia books. Like I said before, I just love watching ranking videos. I haven't watched this one yet. This is another one that's still on my watch later. And I'm just so interested to see because Mitzi and I, we tend to have a lot of the same kind of literary taste in a lot of things. So I'm going to be very interested to see what is her ranking and does it match up with my own in any way. I just finished watching a video from Daniel Green today. I just watched it just a couple hours ago. He has a review of The Lord of the Rings, and he asked the question, does The Lord of the Rings hold up in modern times, like compared to modern fantasy? And he gives all these different elements, plot structure and characters and just like readability. So he gives it like 10 out of 10 for characters and like 8.5 out of 10 for readability. So that one was very interesting to try to compare what are modern readers looking for? And does Lord of the Rings deliver that? Books and Jams has a live discussion of the Screwtape Letters. And these ladies, they are really analyzing and exploring different concepts, and they are not afraid to ask the hard questions. So if you're interested in Screwtape Letters, that is a great one to watch. And the last video on my list is Books Like Woe has a video of where to start with C.S. Lewis. So this is a good one if you're just kind of new to the Inklings and maybe you haven't read much of C.S. Lewis besides maybe just Chronicles of Narnia. So this will give you a better idea of, you know, where to start if you want to read more from C.S. Lewis. And those are just a few of the videos that are out there on YouTube. Please leave us a comment and let me know if you have a video that you want to recommend for us to watch, whether it's a video that you have created or a video that you've watched from someone else. Leave us some links in the comments and don't be shy about promoting your own videos. We want to hear from you. So please leave a comment and let us know if you have made a video about Tolkien or Lewis or anything related to the Inklings. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.